I thought I would go ahead and share a haul with you guys today, and the wind is yet again our friend, so if you hear some banging and this and that, it is windier than all get out again outside. I'll go ahead and start off with this new product by Kevyn Aucoin. It's the Neo Bronzer, and I purchased the shade in Capri or Cool Pink, and I know that there's a warmer one, like a peachy one as well, but I went with the cool one, and there's 0.74 ounces of product in here. When I first saw these online, I thought they were like little, and then I saw Wayne Goss from Goss Makeup Artists. He did a video on these, and then I was like, oh my gosh, those are huge. I need to try one out. And the idea in my mind was this was a cool blush inside of here next to a bronzer, so if the bronzer leaned a little bit too warm or something, I can mix in the blush. And I've actually worn this for the past 3 days. Of course I didn't wear it today, and I've been circling my brush kind of in this area for a bronzer, and then I've been using the blush in conjunction with it. The highlighter is too dark for my skin, so I've been swirling my brush in this portion for a blush and this portion for a bronzer, and I've really been loving it. It blends out beautifully. So this is the Neo Bronzer in Capri or Cool Pink. And then I'll go ahead and swatch them in this 3 portion. But even though the pink is there and I thought, I could make it cooler, I actually like the bronzer. The tone of the bronzer itself is really nice, but I do tend to dip into a little bit of that pink shade. And it just looks really like a really sun-kissed bronze on my skin. Then I'll swatch how I kind of do the blush. And this does put a little bit of a sheen in the blush as well. And then how I bronze. So there's how I use it, and that's the blush that kind of comes out of it. And then the bronze tone. Really been enjoying this though. And it's totally a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I also purchased a couple new eyeliners from Givenchy. They're the Kohl Couture waterproof eyeliners, and they are retractable. I purchased 2 shades of this, and I've been enjoying them enough so that I just went ahead and ordered the green shade. This first one is in 04 Cobalt, and this is what I have on my waterline today. I did have to make one pass, kind of let it dry, and then go over it again to get that intensity, but it lasts quite decent on the waterline. Like you can see, this one isn't the most opaque, but the formula is really, really soft. And it lasts decent on the waterline, not as long as the Marc Jacobs highlighter gel crayons do, but it lasts decent enough for me that I did go ahead and purchase the green shade, because it does, I think it looks really bright and pretty on the waterline. And this next one is 03 Turquoise, and this color is really pretty. It's a little bit more opaque than the Cobalt shade. But I'm excited to get the green one because I have been enjoying both of these liners. Then I noticed on the Sephora website that the Estee Edit line is kind of adding new products just randomly. And one of those is the Barris Bronzer. Like, I don't remember seeing this when I had first placed my order with a bunch of items from the Estee Edit. And I also seen there's a highlighter on there as well. I thought it looked a little bit too deep for me, so I didn't go ahead and purchase that one. But I did pick up this bronzer, and there's 2 shades of this. This is the lighter one. It's called the Barris Bronzer 01 Light Medium, and these are a relatively good size. There's 0.56 ounces of product in here, which is pretty good. There's a mirror on top, and this I find to be a fairly neutral type of bronzer. I don't feel like it leans too warm or too cool, and I've worn it quite a few times thus far. And it's also one of those ones you don't have to worry about, like, right away when you put your brush in there going overboard with it, so you can kind of build it up. So that is the Estee Edit 01 Light Medium, and there was an overspray on there, but that's gone. I'd call the finish of that bronzer kind of a satin matte type of a finish. This next product is new from Cover FX, and it's the Custom Enhancer Drops, and I believe there are 4 shades of this available, and I purchased the one in Celestial, and it comes in the little dropper box. There's a ½ ounce in here, 15 milliliters. And this is like heavy metal. This is really a metallic type of product. Let's get some on right here. So there's just a drop of it, and I'll like kind of blend it out. And the formula of this, you can really feel that it's got a lot of like dimethicone in it. It's got a lot of slip to it, almost borderline has an oil feel to it as well, which there are some oils in here. I wore this the other day, and I mean, it gives some high shine, and I just kind of tapped it over the makeup that I had on, and it's really intense. I need to play with it some more, for sure, but isn't that like, it's pretty metallic. And it's another one of those type of products that you can like add a drop into your foundation or moisturizer or something like that to give like a glow to your skin. So that's the Custom Enhancer Drops by Cover FX. This next product is a new one by Ciate. It's called the Pretty Sticks Muru Muru Butter Lipstick. The packaging is really, really cute. And I purchased the shade, it's called Pretty Sticks Sweetheart, so it must be the shade Sweetheart. And I wore this yesterday and I really, really liked how it felt on my lips, so I did go ahead and order like the Corally shade. It's got like the shade of the product in lips on the outside of the packaging. It's nice packaging too, and then inside you have got your product. And this smells a little bit like Bite lipstick formulas kind of smell, and it's super, like, the name, don't lie, it's really, really buttery, and I thought it might slide off my lips relatively quickly, but it almost kind of settles down but still stays buttery. It's a strange consistency, but it really feels good on the lips. Oh, it kind of reminds me of the MAC Huggable formula, sort of like that. So that one is in Sweetheart. I also went ahead and purchased both of the duos that Nars came out with their summer collection, and the 4 dual intensity eyeshadows. And the packaging on this, the box packaging, is so cute, but like I'm always like, when they do like packaging of just the box and then the inside is just plain, I'm like, why didn't they like put this on the actual packaging? But anyway, it is a cute little packaging that they come in. I know the dual intensity formula isn't for everybody, but I happen to like it. So this first dual intensity blush is in the shade Liberation. And this is what it looks like. It's almost like a rosy tan on one side and then a peach on the other. And I've worn this quite a few times. You'll want to use, like with these products, a little bit more of a stiff brush to get the product picked up. But this is a really pretty one for this here, actually. I think I'm going to probably try to use this by itself as a bronzer because that tone is quite nice. So that one is Liberation. And then the other dual intensity blush that came out with the collection is called Sexual Content. And this one has kind of got a plummy rosy shade on this side, and then the kind of I don't know, I'd call it a peachy tangerine on the other. And I'll give you some swatches. I've worn both of these actually quite a few times since I've gotten them. Oh my gosh, that wind, you guys, it's out of hand. So this one is Sexual Content and this one is Liberation. And then next up is the 4 dual intensity eyeshadows that came out with the collection, and this first one is called Tan Lines. And this, I think this is the only one that I didn't use because when I first ordered them there was only 3 on the Sephora website, and I think I got this one at Saks. But this wind, man. And I have to go out there after this. Anyway, this one is Tan Lines. And yeah, it's the only one that I haven't used thus far. It's a really pretty brown shade. This one is Topless. And it's kind of a little vanilla with a sheen to it. I've used this one underneath the brow bone, and it's really pretty underneath the brow bone. It's not too much like shine. It's kind of just right of a sheen underneath there. So I do like that guy. That one is Topless. This is the shade Deep End, and I did actually wet this one once because I really wanted it to pop on my eyelids, and wetting it definitely intensified the shade, which hence dual intensity. But the color is really gorgeous on this one. And then the last one is in the shade Pool Shark, and this is actually, it's a really unique color. It looks like a periwinkle blue, but there's a purple shift in there that on the lid it looks really, really stunning. Now I will say that Deep End and Topless, or Pool Shark here, what is it called? Yeah, Deep End and Pool Shark, so it'd be this teal and this blue. I did have to kind of pack them on to get the intensity that I was looking for out of it. Like I said, I did wet the Pool Shark shade, or the Deep End shade once to get it really intense, but I felt like they could have used a little bit more pigmentation to them, because when I applied them on the lid I had to pack them on. But once they were on, they were stunning. And I don't know if you can see, but there is a slight purple hint in this guy when you shift it. But so those are the 4 dual intensity eyeshadows from Nars' summer collection. I also bought a couple new products from Lorac. I picked up 2 of their Alter Ego lip liners. They last nicely on the lips, but they also, if this makes sense, wear off nicely. I know some long wearing lipstick or lip liners can get kind of kind of crusty on the outside of the lips. And then two, some of them can just leave you a lip line if they're too long wearing, which is something that I love about the Charlotte Tilbury lip liners, is while they stay on a long time, they also fade nicely to the point where you don't have like a lip line on. But this is the one in Goddess, which is a purple pink shade and goes well with several lip colors that I love. And then the other one is in the shade Duchess. Again, another one that goes really well with a lot of colors that I like. So there's Goddess and there is Duchess. And then while I was in Ulta, I was able to swatch their new highlighters because I saw them online and I just wasn't sure if they would be light enough for me. And these two, they actually are. They're kind of borderline, but they're still really pretty on the skin where they don't like depress that area. They're the Light Source Illuminating Highlighters from Lorac, and the two shades that I got are Moonlight, 0.21 ounces of product in here. Packaging is really sleek. I like the blushes from them as well, and this one has got the pinky tone to it. So this one is Moonlight. And then the other shade that I purchased is Starlight. This one says 0.2 ounces of product, and the other one says 0.21 ounces of product. Interesting. But this one is the more golden of the two. So they're light enough for my skin tone, but they're not like super bright. But the texture of them is really nice. And then lastly here, I thought I would share my thoughts on the Becca and Jaclyn Hill products that I purchased. I purchased the eyeshadow quint and also the face palette off Sephora when it first became available on the Sephora website. Now I know there's like tons of controversy surrounding these two products, but I've used both of these several times. I really like the face palette. The packaging on it is really nice and sturdy packaging. This one here is made in the USA. The eyeshadow palette's made in China, again with that little controversy thing. I'm just going to tell you kind of what I think of the products without going too much into it. Everything in here is satin or shimmery. I guess I would call these two a satin, and then these are shimmery. Now the two highlighters are too deep for, you know, what I like on the top of the cheekbones, but when I mix them in with the blushes, they add a little bit of extra sheen to them, and I can also use these on the eyes, and I do like the products in here. Now I've heard that the ingredients in the Shimmering Skin Perfectors in this palette are different, here I am going into it anyway, than the one in her original compact, but a lot of those ones were broke. I remember when I first went to Sephora to purchase the Champagne Pop highlighter, me and the gal working there, because I opened it up before I bought it, I was like, these are all broken. There was one after another that were broke. She finally found the one that was intact. So I don't know if they switched the formula up so that this was more sturdy in the palette or what, but all the products, I do like them. I've used them all on my face and I think they're really pretty. Now the shade Amaretto, which is right here, I've been using this a lot for bronzing. If it was in a full size for bronzer, I would totally purchase it. It's gorgeous on the skin, as well as both of the blushes. This one's shimmery and this one is more of a satin, but I've kind of mixed in these two and these two as a blush on my face. And I do like it. I like this palette. Swatches. And then these highlight shades, which is Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop. Again, they're too dark for me, but they're pretty enough to where I'll use them in other ways. So that's the face palette. And then here's the eyeshadow palette. Now, they've since recalled this on the Sephora website, but I guess I thought I'd swatch mine because maybe, I don't know, it'll give insight to somebody who already has it, or like maybe you guys can let me know if you purchased it, if your swatch is like this, or if it was a terrible, I don't know. I don't know if there was a problem in like the factory with things or not, but mine isn't terrible. I've used this quite a few times, and while I do feel like this is the darkest shade, it doesn't give a ton of depth, so there's a limit with this palette that you can do everything. It always comes out really neutral every time that neutral and soft. Obviously it's neutral, but it comes out really soft without the ability to really deepen up that crease every time that I've used this. Let's give you some swatches. These are the two shimmery shades. Apparently Champagne Toast is the one that Jaclyn Hill had her hands in to create, and this one's Chardonnay. These are the two shimmers in the palette. And then here are the three matte shades. If if you pick this up, let me know what you think, because I'm like slightly, I just don't know. I don't feel like these are as amazing, the matte shades are as amazing as the Becca matte eyeshadow, the Ombre Rouge and the Ombre Neutral palette. I have both of those and I love them. I don't feel like that formula is quite on, this formula is quite on par with those, but I was able to get nice looks out of it, and they blended and they built up quite nicely. So I'm really curious as to whether or not there was some palettes, you know, that went out that are not great, because I don't find, well, you can kind of see the textures in there, I guess, but again, for me, they built and they blended. So when I was reading stuff about this palette, I was like, mine kind of works nicely. So I'm really confused. I'd love, if you purchase this, I'd love to know what you think of it, or how yours swatched, or if it swatched as nice as this or worse than this, or what the deal is. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this haul right here. I gotta go outside and battle the wind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.